Now, our fears show where we don't really trust God to come through. That sounds harsh, right? But it's the reality of the story of God's people from all of history. Is that those places where you and I have fear in our lives, when we experience fear, and when we give, not just that we experience it, but when we give into that fear, we're really showing where we don't trust God. So we can sing things like, the battle belongs to you, and every fear I lay at your feet. I sing through the night, the battle belongs to you. We can sing, I believe that we're gonna see a victory, for the battle belongs to our God. We can sing those things. And those are relatively easy things to sing in church, but on a Tuesday afternoon when you get bad news or when something hits you that you weren't expecting and fear tends to want to take over, do we believe those things, or do we, like the nation of Israel, give into that fear and show where we don't trust God? Because when we give into fear, we show that that's the area of life that we don't trust God in. It doesn't mean that we don't trust God across the board, but sometimes, man, when we're looking at the budget and it doesn't seem like it's gonna balance out, and there's not enough money in the bank account to cover the expenditures that we see coming, and instantly we're like, I don't think it's gonna come through this time. And we give into fear, we're showing that we don't trust God in the area of finances. In our lives, when we get to those points where we're looking at our kids and man, it just doesn't look good. Like they're heading a wayward direction. We tend to grab hold and we say, man, I don't know that God can handle this one. He can handle a lot of things, but I don't know that he can handle this one. Or we look at our marriage, or we look at something and it looks like there's like these people, and to the problem, we look like a grasshopper. And we say, I don't know that God can do this. I mean, I know that he parted the Red Sea in the past. I know that he got us out of Egypt, that he's come through before, but this one, I don't know. That's the area of our life we don't trust God in. When we act in rebellion towards God, when we don't trust the promises of God, when we fear when we should have faith, when we rebel against what he says, if he says a clear command in scripture and then we walk in rebellion towards that, it's gonna always set in motion wilderness and wandering. Man, how many of you guys have felt that? Where you just feel like you're going in circles, right? Where you're just like, I just feel like in this area of my life of sin, or this area of where I'm not trusting God, and I just feel like I'm just looping in life and I can't ever progress into the goodness, into the promised land, and the things that God has for me. And I see other people doing it, and I hear in the word, I hear the promises that God has for me as his child, and yet I feel like I'm just stuck going in circles. It's worth taking a look into our hearts and into our lives and say, is there areas of areas in my life that I'm living in rebellion towards God? Is there areas of my life where I'm not trusting God fully? Is there areas of my life where I'm allowing this sin to wreck me over and over and over again? And in those areas of life, that may be the thing, that may be the rebellion that's keeping you just looping again and again and again. Because rebellion towards God sets in motion wilderness and wandering. It did for God's people back then, and it does for us today.